Hello fashion lovers and prospective fashion designers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniel Priska, and if today is your first time of visiting this channel, you are surely in the right place. So guys, our previous video was all about the tape measure, and we looked at what it is, its essential components, unit of measurement, and how to read it in inches, all in a fun and easy way. So today we are taking it a step further by looking into the metric system, where you will learn how to read measurement in centimeters and millimeters. If those tiny lines have ever get you confused, don't worry. In just 5 minutes, you will fully understand them. And if that sounds like what you are interested in learning, let's go into it. The metric system is a decimal-based system used worldwide. It is simple because it works in multiples of 10. Basically, we have two main units on a metric tape measure, and these two main units are centimeters and millimeters. Now, let's break this down and explore how to use them in fashion design. Centimeters are the primary unit of measurement on the metric system, which are used in taking larger body dimensions like bust circumference, waist circumference, and hip circumference. They are abbreviated as cm and labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 150, and this is based on the tape used in this video. The centimeter mark are also identified using the longer mark. So these are the longer marks on the tape measure, and this line helps you to identify the centimeter mark. Millimeters are the smaller unit of measurement on the metric system. They are used for precise measurements like seam allowances. They are abbreviated as mm and identified by the smaller lines found between each centimeter marker. Now, considering 1 centimeter and 2 centimeters, we have these smaller divisions that are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't worry about how you will see these small lines. I will be using a graph to illustrate it so that you see it clearly. So, here is a drafted segment of a tape measure showing the space between 0 and 2 centimeters. It will be used to illustrate the divisions on the metric tape measure. And as you can see, every centimeter is made up of 10 small lines. Now, let's take a moment to count them because it is key to reading millimeters accurately. Note that when counting these 10 small lines found between every centimeter mark, you will start counting from the first small line after the whole centimeter, and the 10th line is usually the next full centimeter. So, considering 0 and 1 centimeter, we will have these 10 small lines as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, from 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters, we will have these 10 small lines as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, let's take a step further to know the values of these 10 small lines. This will make it easier to identify and read precise measurement on the tape measure. Remember that a centimeter is divided into 10 equal parts. So, each of these 10 small lines you see me point at will represent 1/10 of a centimeter. 1/10 of a centimeter is equal to 0.1. This means that the first small line after the 0 mark is 0.1 centimeter. The next line, which is the second line, is 0.1 multiplied by 2, which is 0.2 centimeter. The third line is 0.1 multiplied by 3, which is 0.3 centimeters. The fourth line is 0.1 multiplied by 4, which is 0.4 centimeters. The fifth line is 0.1 multiplied by 5, which is 0.5 centimeters. The sixth line is 0.1 multiplied by 6, which is 0.6 centimeters. The seventh line is 0.1 multiplied by 7, which is 0.7 centimeters. The eighth line is 0.1 multiplied by 8, which is 0.8 centimeters. The ninth line is 0.1 multiplied by 9, which is 0.9 centimeters. And the 10th line is 0.1 multiplied by 10, which is 1 centimeter. After 1 centimeter mark, the next small line, we have a value of 1 plus 0.1, which will be 1.1 centimeter. The second line, we have a value of 1 plus 0.2, which will be 1.2 centimeters. The third line will be 1 plus 0.3, which will be 1.3 centimeters. The fourth line will be 1 plus 0.4, which will be 1.4 centimeter. The fifth line will be 1 plus 0.5, which will be 1.5 centimeter. The sixth line will be 1 plus 0.6, and it is 1.6 centimeters. The seventh line is 1 plus 0.7, and it is 1.7 centimeters. The eighth line is 1 plus 0.8, and it is 1.8 centimeters. The ninth line is 1 plus 0.9, and it is 1.9 centimeters. While the 10th line is 1 plus 1, which is 2 centimeters. Okay, let's give another illustration. While measuring, if a point falls on the fifth line after 9 centimeter mark, the value will be 9 plus 0.5, which is 9.5 centimeters. If another point falls on the 8th line after 30 centimeter mark, the total value will be 30 plus 0.8, and it is 30.8 centimeters. Also, if a point falls on the 7th line after 11 centimeter mark, the total value will be 11 plus 0.7, which is 11.7 centimeters. Okay, building on what we've learned about centimeter and their divisions, let's move on to explore the millimeter markings with another drafted segment of a tape measure. Here is another drafted segment of a tape measure showing the space between 0 and 20 millimeters. It will be used to learn how to read measurement in millimeters accurately. Now, before we proceed, recall that a centimeter is made up of 10 small lines called millimeters, and these lines you see me point at are called the millimeters. So each of them represents 1 millimeter. Hence, this first line after 0 millimeter is 1 millimeter. The second line is 2 millimeters. The third line is 3 millimeters. The fourth line is 4 millimeters. The fifth line is 5 millimeters. The sixth line is 6 millimeters. The 7th line is 7 millimeters. The 8th line is 8 millimeters. The 9th line is 9 millimeters, while the 10th line is 10 millimeters. It is also equivalent to 1 centimeter. Okay, after 10 millimeter, the value increases, and the first small line after it, we have a value of 10 plus 1, which is 11 millimeters. The second line, we have a value of 10 plus 2, which is 12 millimeters. The third line will be 10 plus 3, which is 13 millimeters. The fourth line is 10 plus 4, which is 14 millimeters. The fifth line is 10 plus 5, which is 15 millimeters. The sixth line is 10 plus 6, and it is 16 millimeters. The seventh line is 10 plus 7, and it is 17 millimeters. The eighth line is 10 plus 8, which is 18 millimeters. The ninth line is 10 plus 9, which is 19 millimeters, while the 10th line is 10 plus 10, which is 20 millimeters. So, while measuring, if a point falls on the third line after 30 millimeter mark, the total value will be 30 plus 3, which is 33 millimeters. If another point falls on the 9th line after 30 millimeters, it will have a value of 30 plus 9, which is 39 millimeters. Alright guys, this is it for today's class. I hope you now feel confident reading measurements in centimeters and millimeters. If you learned something new, go ahead and like this video, drop a comment and subscribe for more. Our next class will cover how to convert between centimeters and millimeters, as well as between inches and centimeters. Thanks for sticking around. See you then and goodbye.